Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If this is something you end up enjoying, you never know, it could happen. All right. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've been struggling on the channel just a little bit. It's been, I know I always come with excuses, but this is part of, I'm looking at my reading month for April. It's a bit rough. I did start a brand new law firm, and it's a lot to get going, to start a brand new business and get payroll figured out and things like that. So I've been a little bit slower on the channel, and I apologize for that. I've been still kind of putting out 2 videos a week. I would love to get to the next level and put out 3 or 4 or more. That'd be great. If I could get my editing down, that'd be even better. But we're working through it. We're working through some struggles right now. I loved it again. Like, I'd love to focus more on the channel, but right now it's just not even in the cards. So please bear with me as I somewhat regularly at least post videos, but they haven't been as consistent as I'd like. Sometimes they come out Thursday, Friday. Most Tuesdays I'm pretty good, but it may be later in the day some days. So it's just been rough. I've been busier than ever, so I guess that's good. It's a good sign that things are going well, but here we are. So anyway, let's jump into how did April go. April, I read a total of 3 books, one of which I'd already started in March, but it was a doozy, and there's a couple doozies. So the first book I did read was The Well of Ascension by Brando Sando. It's almost 800 pages here, so it's a healthy book, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Definitely my least favorite in the trilogy, though, I have to say. It kind of suffers from the middle book syndrome. There's a lot to kind of set up. There's a lot more world building to do. You think you're caught up, but then there's so much more to explain. And I did actually, and you'll see, I get to the last one too. But I always go in order of books that I read during the month. So The Well of Ascension, though, Mistborn #2, I still enjoyed quite a bit. There's still great exploration of just the powers, and that just alone is fun for the series. This magic system based on metals, and and not only just the cleverness with the magic system, but even just the naming of, not only do you have a kind of like formal names for metals and everything, but then you have like kind of, oh, he's a thug, so he burns pewter, right? Which gives you kind of thuggish powers, I guess. So there's just different kinds of names, a soother or whatever, and you can soothe emotions, or outright just give you essentially the ability to fly based on the laws of physics to some extent. It's an entertaining magic system first and foremost. So I'm very excited now, having finished the trilogy. I can spoiler alert this video, or I can spoil this video because I'm getting to it. But I absolutely enjoyed it, but again, it's not my favorite. It definitely slows down. There's kind of, if you're, I won't get into spoilers on this series. I'll do a dedicated review, as I've been pretty dang good about doing so far this year, which also has been a detriment to the channel, because review videos are like, some will hit and some will just never ever reach an audience, which is fine. It's just, you kind of just have to accept it. There's a little merit in them, in the fact that they can always be evergreen. You can always, like, some point maybe somebody will get some value out of it. So that's what I hope for. That's what the goal is. And mostly the goal is just for me to talk about the books that I love anyway. So there we go. Then I read Sandman Slim by Richard Kadri. I've been corrected on how to spell or pronounce the last name. It's not Kadri, it's Kadri. Sorry, okay, I apologize, but I appreciate the correction. Always appreciate it. Want to say it the right way. Sandman Slim, it's the first book in the Sandman Slim universe, and there's like, I don't even know how many. There's so many books in this, at least 10 plus, right? I could be wrong on that. Editing Bryce knows. Lots of books in the series. It's been going for clearly some time. One of the funny parts about this is that there's like, the main character comes back essentially from the dead, I'll say, and it's very early on, so you know that right away. And from hell, and he's got to kind of get reintroduced to like modern life, but modern life is like, look at my I got a BlackBerry, and I'm like, that might be new for an old person like me, even still 20 years ago at least. So it was just a funny reference, and did not hold it against the book, because it's highly entertaining tons of just great action and just some good one-liners. It's really fun. Reminded me a lot of Tim Markwitz's Demon Squad, which I absolutely love. It's a self-published series. You should definitely go check out if you like this kind of thing, like Sandman Slim. I have to think. I'm torn on my like. I feel like they're going to get better from here, and you know, I enjoyed it quite a bit, so I'm kind of leaving room here, but it's a definite, like, I would say like a 7 out of 10 right now in my head, because it was a very solid fun book with lots of good characters, lots of good like magic use of, you know, it's hellish characters, and so you got lots of the fallen angels and all this, and so lots of that involved in this, and anyway, if you like that kind of thing, which again, I'm a fan of Dresden. I'm a fan, like I said, Demon Squad, which involves, this isn't the Demon Squad involves the nephew of Satan, and this is not the same, but definitely someone who ends up in hell. And so, and again, and really, it starts out just wants revenge for the people that you know, essentially sent him there, and some more. But it's super great. It's a fun. I like the alliterative names. Great, Sandman Slim, and again, just a good, fun, very irreverent series. I have to say that much. And then finally, I rounded out the month with The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. Again, yes, I don't have the book with me. I have this one still. But Hero of Ages, I definitely, I think I rank them, if I had to tier list this, Final Empire, book 1, then book 3, then book 2. Book 3's got some really great reveals of kind of like this world at the end, and I really enjoyed just getting that, like, oh, kind of some wow factors, like, oh wow, this was really well set up from book 1. And really cool, just, again, use of that magic system, which is just so much fun. But again, the characters are great. Just so many things I want to get into that I can't, because it's so many spoilers at this point. It's a book 3 in a series. Let it be known, I definitely highly love this whole series. Definitely, I see what I've been missing, and I know, I'm sorry, I'm last to the Mistborn stage here. But here we are. So we made it. We did it, okay? All right, how's May looking? So April, not my best reading month. Again, a lot on my plate right now. So it's been a little slow. I think I'm still like barely keeping up with my Goodreads goal of 52 for the year. So it's neck and neck though. Usually, I think by this time last year I was about 4 or 5 books ahead of my Goodreads goal, and right now I'm at like, I don't know, I think I might even be 1 book behind, so I'm barely kind of keeping afloat here, which leads me to my May TBR/MBR. Have you heard that I way too easily give in to peer pressure? One person asked one thing, read along, and guess what? I'm already in another read along. I have stopped so many read alongs, and here we are, yet another one. So this one is going to be It by Stephen King. I have not read this. I hear this is over and over again people's favorite Stephen King book, along with, it's either this or The Stand. Those are kind of like the big 2. I'm excited. It's a huge tome, and I'm excited to read it because you know, I saw the old movie. I never even saw any of the new movies. That's how I'm always behind. But the old movies I always loved. You know, Tim Curry as the clown. I mean, Pennywise is just classic there. And say what you will about it. It is like a TV miniseries, but I think it's one of the best TV miniseries. I don't know, is that damning it with faint praise? Probably. Speaking of read-alongs, still planning on The Lions of Al Rassan. Did not get to that this month, but I definitely will be getting to it. I am very excited to read some more Guy Gavriel Kay. I've only read Tigana, and it was excellent. Absolutely adored it. It's a classic right up there. So, and this is one of the second book that's always recommended when recommending Guy Gavriel Kay, along with like so many others. Anyway, so, but the big 2 are Tigana and The Lions of Al Rassan. So I'm very excited to read this. Again, the prose I already know is great. I'm just excited to kind of get into this whole new world. And again, he does standalones a lot, which is kind of cool. It's kind of nice to have that palate cleanser where you're just like, look, it is what it is, and then it's done. And I also love my big, huge, epic fantasy series, as as I talked about in my last news video. Then I want to read. This is on the list. It's sticking. It kind of like entered the list last month, but I really want to read it this time. More Than a Vampire by J.R. Carroll. J.R. Carroll is actually who I'm doing the Stephen King read along with, so I'm excited to get to his book finally. I've been teasing that for so long, as if that's a tease. Then I kind of thrown in like maybe a shorter book, at least as far as I can tell, but The Roach by Rhett C. Bruno. This was recommended by a friend on the good old Twitter/X. Couple that are in the kind of running that are like, all right, let's see if we can fit these in. Would really like to get to them. But Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan. I've been talking about Michael J. Sullivan a lot lately, it seems like, because of some of my reviews and whatnot. But I would like to get to his kind of like this big series that he has out there. I love the Raya Revelations, and I'm excited to see what this one brings. Debating again, City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. I actually already read it, but I would like to actually read the whole trilogy. And now it's been a while, so now I feel like I need to reread the first book and then read the rest of the trilogy. So that's one. Robert Jackson Bennett's just one of my favorite authors. Been really toying with, it just came in, and because it's just on audiobook for the first time, Curse of the Mistwraith by Janny Wirtz. I'm debating just jumping into that one again and just giving a solid review at least, because I feel like I owe that at least to Janny Wirtz, because I have been slacking on this series, and I pointed this out in my last news video, that they're not on audiobook, and that's kind of mostly how I consume any of my books anymore, because of just too many things in my life going on that I've done this to myself, I realize. But anyway, that's one but I would love to just, especially with the final book in The Wars of Light and Shadow coming out here very soon, literally next month, I kind of feel like I want to at least do that and give at least a shout out there to Janny Wirtz, because I absolutely just adore her writing and her books. They're just amazing. I just wish I had more time. If you could just please do me a favor and give me more time in the day, that I don't have to do all the things that are on my plate. That would be just great. And then finally, I'm throwing this out there because I have been kind of toying with this, but Malice by John Gwynne. I promised a loyal viewer of the channel that I would read it, and it's gonna happen this year. And I want to start it on the list, so it actually, then I feel like once I've named something on my TBR at least once or twice, then I'm like, all right, I cannot possibly name this a third time or whatever. Like, I cannot possibly do that. And it will drive me the most crazy. I can't even imagine what it does to you. So then I end up finally reading it. So that's my goal here. Kind of trick myself into having to read it. There you go. I mean, do you ever do weird things like that? I'm a weirdo. I will be the first to admit. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. Hopefully you're having a great month of reading, and hopefully your next month is just as wonderful. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.